They say history is written by the victors. But what about the stories they tried to bury? There are hidden corners of history where the truth is often stranger than fiction. It's time to visit those hidden corners and learn about the true history stories that you shouldn't know. Number 1. The unknown Kyshtym disaster. The Kyshtym disaster was a major nuclear accident that occurred in 1957, 11 years before the more well-known Chernobyl disaster. It happened at a secret Soviet nuclear facility called Mayak, located near the town of Kyshtym. Safety standards at Mayak were poor. Workers were often exposed to dangerous levels of radiation, and radioactive waste was sometimes carelessly dumped, causing harm to people in nearby communities. To keep it hidden, the Soviet government even removed Mayak from maps. On September 19, 1957, a problem with the cooling system at Mayak went unnoticed. This caused a tank of nuclear waste to overheat and explode, spreading radioactive material across a large area. At first, authorities tried to cover up the incident, but eventually thousands of people had to be evacuated from the surrounding area. Unlike Chernobyl, the Kyshtym disaster didn't have immediate worldwide effects, so the Western world didn't know about it right away. The US government eventually found out, but for a long time, both the Soviet Union and the US kept the disaster a secret to avoid negative public opinion about nuclear power. It wasn't until after the end of the Cold War that the full story of the Kyshtym disaster became public. Number 2. The missing plutonium. In 1965, during the Cold War, Indian and American intelligence agencies worked together to install a sensor on Nanda Devi, a high Himalayan peak. This device, powered by plutonium, was intended to gather information about China's nuclear weapon development. However, a severe snowstorm forced the team to abandon the mission and hide the device, planning to recover it later. When the team returned the following year, they were unable to locate the plutonium-powered sensor. Despite search missions, it was never found. Some think an avalanche may have swept it away, while others suspect the Indian government secretly recovered it. The missing plutonium remains a source of environmental concern. Nanda Devi's waters feed the Ganges River, a sacred river for many people in the region. There have been worries about potential contamination, though no conclusive evidence has been found. Some have even theorized that the plutonium could be linked to recent flooding events, but experts consider this unlikely. Information about this incident remained classified until a journalist exposed it in 1978. This event raises questions about other potential Cold War operations that may still be hidden from public knowledge. Number 3. Friendly fire. The Vietnam War was widely reported on television, bringing images of the conflict directly into American homes. However, many battles and incidents never made it onto the news. One such incident was a terrible case of friendly fire that occurred during the Battle of Dak To on Hill 875 in November 1967. Friendly fire means accidental attacks on one's own forces. This was a major problem in the Vietnam War because fighting often happened in dense jungles, making it difficult to identify targets accurately. During the Battle of Dak To, an American brigade was trapped under heavy enemy fire. Air support was called in, but in the confusion, one of the bombs mistakenly hit their own position. The bomb had been intended for North Vietnamese soldiers, but instead it struck a tree where American officers, radio operators, medics, and wounded soldiers were gathered. The results were devastating, with significant casualties without any traces. For years, it was believed that a South Vietnamese soldier had accidentally caused the tragedy. However, an official report revealed that the bomb had actually come from a US plane. The pilot had a good reputation, but the situation on the ground was chaotic, leading to a terrible mistake. Number 4. The mistaken attack on Liberty. In the lead-up to June 8, 1967, there was a significant event surrounded by secrecy and misinformation. It's known as the attack on the USS Liberty. The United States and Israel were involved, and there have been various interpretations of what occurred. During the Six-Day War in the Middle East, tensions were high between Israel and its neighboring countries, including Egypt and Jordan, which had support from the Soviet Union. The USS Liberty, an American intelligence ship, was stationed in the eastern Mediterranean near the Gaza Strip. On June 8th, Israeli jets flew over the Liberty several times, reporting its location to the command in Tel Aviv. However, in the afternoon, confusion arose about the ship's location. Suddenly, the Liberty came under attack. Israeli planes launched bombs followed by attacks from torpedo boats. During the attack, 34 Americans lost their lives and 171 were injured. Survivors faced ongoing physical and mental health challenges. The official Israeli explanation was that they mistook the Liberty for an Egyptian ship. Israel later compensated the U.S. and the families of the sailors. However, there are doubts about whether it was truly a case of mistaken identity. So, the next time you hear a familiar historical story, remember, there might be another side waiting to be uncovered. What other historical facts have an alternate, more believable storyline? Let us know in the comments below. To get more informative videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel.